This video is sponsored by WARTHUNDER. The Insurgents are a ragtag band of Middle Eastern fighters that seek to overpower their enemies through guerrilla tactics, overwhelming numbers, and sheer creativity. The Insurgents are the kings of asymmetrical warfare. They can effectively ambush infantry and vehicles alike, and be out of dodge before the enemy can react with their fast bikes and technicals. Their heavy emphasis on SMGs, explosives, and close-range potential allows them to act as fanatical shock troopers, storming enemy positions in dense urban areas, and annihilating the enemy garrison before they know what hit them. Through insurgent ingenuity and duct tape, they create monstrosities that horrify their opponents before converting said enemies into a red pasty goo. Beneath all the memes lies an interesting, complicated, and in my opinion overpowered faction that is often misused and underutilized by the squad community. So today, I'll show you why you suck with the Insurgents, and how you can get better. The Insurgents are perhaps the perfect faction for squad players, because unlike other factions, the Insurgents embrace the chaos and disorganization of the squad community. War is chaos, squad command chat is chaos, and the average squad game is chaos. For this purpose, the Insurgents give many tools for the brainless of squad to come up with increasingly outlandish and suicidal tactics that somehow continue to be successful. From strapping IEDs onto bikes and sending them driving into a tank, to 3 lads with an AA gun duct taped onto a Toyota, single-handedly shutting down the enemy's aerial logistics. This faction demands a creative team that utilizes its unique mechanics and equipment. Succeed in this, and the Insurgents will be unstoppable. Play this faction like you might a conventional faction, and you will handicap yourself and your team. IEDs, or improvised explosive devices, are exclusive to the Insurgent faction. Attached to a cell phone detonator, you can strap these onto anything or anywhere you can think of. Strap them onto vehicles and run them into enemy tanks. Strap them onto areas the enemy is pushing into, leaving them a rude surprise for when they finally take the point. Or strap them to your least favorite friend and send him charging into certain death. Much like the WPMC, the Insurgents employ a hodgepodge of weapons for every situation. While not as advanced or modern as other factions' equipment, Insurgents can still tailor their kits to match their combat environment. SMGs and carbines for short to medium range engagements, battle rifles and Mosin-Nagants for longer range engagements. The Insurgents excel in close quarters due to their plentiful grenades, SMGs, machine pistols, anti-tank grenades, rifle grenades, and RPGs. They will annihilate vehicles and infantry alike with their explosive potential. The Insurgents' unique spawn mechanics allow them to swarm and overwhelm their enemies. They're basically the Tyranids of squad. They can place 2 spawn bunkers per FOB and can also take advantage of an underrated but simultaneously overpowered mechanic, the buddy rally. Used properly, the Insurgents can shift their entire team to any established rally at any time. Unconventional, cheap emplacements and obstacles allow the Insurgents to cheaply build around a FOB and stall and harass the enemy. A conventional faction with 600 build can place a spawn bunker and an ammo crate, in other words, the bare minimum. Meanwhile, the Insurgents with the same amount of build could make a small fortress. The Insurgents may not have fancy LAVs or BTRs, but they do possess many technicals with increasingly insane levels of firepower, some BRDMs, and motorbikes, allowing for the Insurgents to travel quickly while simultaneously sporting impressive firepower. These vehicles are key to the Insurgent tactics of harassment, stalling, and ambushing the enemy. The beauty of the Insurgents is that they excel both in defensive and offensive operations. When besieged on a map like Fallujah, they can cheaply and easily build up roadblocks, outposts, and fortresses, and with their plentiful SMGs, rockets, and grenades, they easily gain the edge in close quarters combat, but they simultaneously excel in harassing the enemy in the open desert. Using a combination of lightning-fast technicals and overpowered buddy rallies, the insurgents can shift their fighters across vast tracts of desert with uncomparable efficiency. The insurgents may possess considerable close quarters fighting prowess, but their lack of scopes shows in medium to long ranged firefights. The insurgents should close the distance with their enemies as opposed to sustained firefights at range, where their conventional enemies, usually with magnified scopes, will have the advantage. Insurgent heavy armor is either obsolete or non-existent. The insurgents will have to rely instead on its anti-tank capabilities to nullify the enemy's superior infantry fighting vehicles and tanks. By virtue of being an insurgent faction, the insurgents lack any aerial transport or logistics. While they more than make up for it on the ground, no technical can outrace a helicopter. Enemy helicopters will be one of the most prominent threats to the insurgents, and should be shut down as fast as possible. Finally, the commander assets of the insurgents are left wanting, with only a drone and a heavy mortar barrage to spare. The drone is still a strong recon tool, and can even be used as a flying IED, a terrible prospect for enemy armor and spawn bunkers. Hey viewer, do you like war? Do you like thundering your enemies to death with the brutal sound of cannon breaking through steel? Do you enjoy military history and a borderline obsessive fixation of tanks, helicopters, and planes? Then play War Thunder for free today, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Immerse yourself on the battlefield commanding over 2,500 vehicles across 10 major nations on land, air, and sea. All expertly crafted with meticulous detail spanning over 100 years of military technological development. Customize every vehicle with a vast array of camouflages and decorations. Say goodbye to simplistic hit points. War Thunder has one of the most detailed vehicle combat systems of all time. Enjoy the ripping of metal from War Thunder's authentic sound effects, realistic graphics, and meticulously designed vehicles. Annihilate your enemies with brutal efficiency and join a massive community with over 70 million players. Then watch how you eviscerate them in 4K with impressive X-ray view, displaying every sweet detail of their destruction. I recommend the fighter planes because nothing is more satisfying than coming out on top of a dogfight. As if that wasn't enough for you, War Thunder is giving new and returning players that hasn't played for at least 6 months a massive bonus pack with multiple premium vehicles, an exclusive vehicle decorator, the Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 whole days of a premium account on PC and consoles. War Thunder is available for free now on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, iOS, and Android. Please sign up using the link in the description now. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. The average insurgent squad brings more capable fire support than many of the other conventional factions in squad. They're highly capable in close quarters and excel in fire support at short to medium ranges with their RPGs, rifle grenades, and hand-thrown RKGs. The fighter is the Rifleman version of the insurgents and has 7 variants to choose from. All come equipped with an ammo bag, vital to resupplying the RPGs and rifle grenades of LATs, and of course, to keep the squad leader's rally up and running. Now is a good time to review the insurgent's small arms weaponry. Choose the SKS, F&FAL, G3A3, or even a Mosin Nagant for fighting at range. or if you just want more of a punch. The AKS-74 with the 4x scope is a good all-around weapon, but if you want something more close range, an iron sights AKM or M16 will do. AK variants like the AMD-65 or the PM-MD-63 are essentially the same weapons with a different skin, with the exception of being the AMD being a small weapon and thus less likely to shove itself into the floor when you get close to a wall. The Raider is the Insurgents' unique class. It has 3 variants, all of which carry extra grenades and anti-tank grenades, but some more than others. For example, the AKM variant sports a more capable weapon with a drum mag, but only 2 of each grenade. A similar situation for the PPSH variant. While the Mosin Nagant is a terrible choice for close quarters, it is offset by the machine pistol and gets 4 grenades of both types. The Raider is superior to pretty much every other faction-specific class I've covered so far, for one big reason. It counts as a direct combat role, not a fire support role. Direct combat roles and squads do not have class limits, unlike the fire support or specialist roles, meaning you can have up to 3 raiders in the squad, 1 for each variant, and on top of that still have 4 fire support roles. This maximizes the close quarters potential for the insurgent infantry, providing up to 8 fragmentation and 8 anti-tank grenades across just 3 members of the squad. Now we move on to fire support roles. You may only have 4 fire support roles in your squad at a time, so choose wisely. The automatic rifleman will be the source of the majority of suppressive firepower in your squad, with their automatic rifles and light machine guns. The insurgents don't have any direct combat variants of the automatic rifleman, so precious fire support roles will have to be sacrificed if you want suppressive potential in the squad. The first variant is an RPK with a drum mag. The RPK was already my favorite LMG in squad due to its accuracy and mobility, allowing the user to stay on the offensive while still allowing for a suppressive punch while on the move. The insurgents ran along with this by adding a drum mag. Now you'll be reloading a lot less and firing a lot more, still retaining your initiative against the enemy. This variant also comes equipped with 2 fragmentation grenades to emphasize on its aggressiveness. The second variant is on the heavier side of an LMG. The RPD has more kick and more punch than the RPK, and is decidedly more defensive in nature than the RPK variant. The RPD will excel in defensive situations, locking down corridors and roads, and will also provide good suppressive fire to cover friendlies. You can take your pick of which kind of LMG you want. Do you want to be more aggressive and retain mobility? Then the RPK is for you. But do you want to provide more DACA at the expense of mobility and reactiveness? Then the RPD is a better choice. The Grenadier provides explosive fire support to the squad. There are 2 variants of the Grenadier kit, meaning you could have technically 2 Grenadiers at a time in the squad, unlike most other factions. The first variant is a more traditional Grenadier role, with an underbarrel grenade launcher with a long range of 500 meters, and through Soviet ingenuity, you can also use the GP-25 as a makeshift mortar. Set the ranging to 200 or 300 meters high, pointing the weapon straight up in the air, and the grenade should land right on top of the enemy's heads. You can even fire farther than 300 meters if you want to perfect that in the training range. Its loadout is pretty standard, with 10 fragmentation rounds and 2 white, 2 blue, and 2 red smoke rounds. The second variant is a callback to the irregular militia, with the FN FOW rifle grenades. This kit is comparatively lightly equipped. It gets 5 fragmentation rifle grenades, and the official rifle grenade range can only go up to 80 meters. But if you're interested in learning more about rifle grenades, watch my Why You Suck with the IMF video, where I show how to fire rifle grenades up to 300 meters. But as far as this kit goes, if you want your squad to have some more close quarters clearing potential, consider this variant. Lats are responsible for destroying enemy light vehicles and disabling heavy armor. The scoped AKS variant is equipped with a scopeless RPG with 2 heat and 2 fragmentation rounds. The second variant is virtually identical, but with an iron sight AKMS. The third variant comes equipped with 5 heat rifle grenades shot from an FN FOW. This has the same official range as the Grenadier's rifle grenade variant, 80 meters. It's worth noting that each heat rifle grenade does does as much damage as an RPG would, but with less penetrative power. Finally, for fire support, we have the Marksman classes. The Marksmen provide long-ranged fire support. In practice, they're worse Riflemen. Regardless, there are 2 variants of the Marksman kit, allowing for up to 2 Marksman classes in your squad. The first variant is a unbipoded SVD with a high-powered scope. This variant may have some good use on maps with long lines of sight, such as to little outskirts. It does provide some crucial long-range firepower, which the Insurgents lack. The second variant is an M16A2 with a 3x20 scope. Essentially, it's just a good weapon. Both kits come equipped with the camo net for a concealed firing position in a pinch. With that out the way, onto the specialist kits. The Sniper class, which you may have 1 per team, is equipped with a Mosin Nagant with a 4x scope. Perfect for COD-like highlight reels, but largely useless when it comes to your squad. Machine gunners carry medium machine guns with greater suppression and penetration capabilities than light machine guns. Their purpose is to suppress enemy infantry and lock down potential avenues of enemy approach. The Insurgents may have 2 machine gunners in their team. The first variant is a unscoped PKM with a slower fire rate but higher penetrative and suppressive potential. The second variant is a unscoped MG3 with the highest fire rate for a machine gun in squad. Both of these weapons are great, but due to their lack of scopes, will only excel in short to medium range engagements. The heavy anti-tank kits carry tandem rockets that deal great damage to enemy heavy armor. Their purpose is to hunt down and destroy the enemy's heaviest and most destructive vehicles. The first variant comes equipped with an iron sight RPG with 1 tandem round, 1 heat round, and 2 fragmentation rounds. The second variant comes equipped with an RPG-29 with 2 tandem rounds, providing more anti-tank capability while sacrificing anti-personnel potential. And finally, we have the Sapper class, which carries the holy IEDs and anti-tank mines. There are 2 variants of this class, which means the Insurgents may have up to 2 per team, compared to other factions who may only have 1 combat engineer per team. While the anti-tank mines are important to sabotage enemy armor and logistics, the IED still shines as one of the best tools of the Insurgents, and should be used as frequently as possible. The IED is capable of taking out heavy armor and scores of infantry at a time. Just make sure you look out for friendlies. The Sapper should keep near a source of ammo and attach these IEDs to drones and vehicles, then communicating with the driver and operator for when to detonate the device. Buddy rallies are a mechanic only available to the Insurgents that allows any dead squad leader to right-click on another squad leader's established rally on the map and instantly place their own rally, while dead, next to the other squad leader's rally. Buddy rallies are one of the most overpowered spawn mechanics in squad. The fact that you can simply right-click while dead onto somebody else's rally and suddenly have a squad-wide spawn is a huge boon to the Insurgents. But yet, it seems like most players don't even know about this mechanic, let alone how to properly use it. Now, buddy rallies themselves don't require much thought. It all boils down to picking the best rally point to buddy rally every time you spawn, and preparing your squad to respawn at your newly placed rally by warning them ahead of time. You can coordinate with other squad leaders to get their squads to spawn on your rallies and vice versa for increased effectiveness. Always be cognizant of where your team needs a rally, and remind the other SLs that they can spawn on each other's rallies. I wasn't exaggerating when I say that this is the most overpowered mechanic in squad. Insurgent teams that use it effectively will be able to essentially teleport their team around the map, giving your opponents a near insurmountable obstacle. The Insurgent emplacements are cheap, dated, but effective. Their spawn bunkers cost literally the same as an ammo crate, and they can build 2 spawn bunkers per FOB. This also basically doubles the spawning potential and opportunities of the Insurgents. I cannot stress how strong this is. The obstacles are dirt cheap. The oil barrel wall is 60 build, and sandbags and razor wire are only 10 build. You can also build a massive tire fire that does burning damage to anyone who attempts to cross it for 100 build. Blocking off a road with a tire fire effectively pigeonholes the infantry into the 2 non-burning sides of the tire fire, which can then be reinforced with barbed wire if you want to make it even more impassable. The dirt cheapness of these obstacles means you can do a lot with just a couple hundred built, and that's before you start emplacing weapons. The weapon emplacements of the Insurgents are also dated but cheap and effective. The Disc heavy machine gun provides excellent fire support, and you can have up to 4 of these machine guns per FOB, 2 shielded and 2 unshielded. The SPG-9 gives the Insurgents an easy way to deal with enemy vehicles, and provides impressive fire support. You can have up to 3 SPG-9s per FOB. The ZIS-3 anti-air gun can effectively shut down enemy air operations, and mortars can provide fire support and smoke coverage. You can build both of these 2 times each per FOB. But that is not all, because the Insurgents have invented a new kind of mortar that is absolutely devastating. Appropriately called the Hell Cannon, this improvised mortar fires off massive propane tanks into the air, detonating on the ground with a huge explosion. It costs only 200 build to shoot, but costs a staggering 150 ammunition per shot. So if you intend to fire this thing all game, make sure to keep the FOB supplied. You can build only 1 Hell Cannon per FOB. The Insurgents' vehicles are diversified, if not a bit aged. The heavy armor of the Insurgents is still lacking, with a rusted T-62 as its main battle tank, and the BMP-1 as its only IFV. In the AA department, the Insurgents have taken the liberty of cutting off a BMP-1's turret and instead mounting it with a ZIS-3 anti-air gun. While it still suffers from the slow engine and weak armor of the BMP-1, this vehicle will still prove useful in shutting down enemy air power and can even be used as a fire support tool in a pinch. The Insurgents also mounted the same anti-air gun on a technical and a cargo truck for similar purposes. While the Insurgents don't do great in the heavy armor department, it more than makes up for it when it comes to light vehicles. BRDMs are fast armored vehicles that pack a KPVT heavy machine gun with armor-piercing incendiary rounds. This is as close as the Insurgents will get to the fast, wheeled IFVs of other factions, such as the BTR-82 and Labs. Nonetheless, the thin armor still protects the crew from small arms fire and allows it to harass enemy vehicles and logistics. And of course, there is a horde of technicals the Insurgents possess, each with a weapon platform with its own job. I'll do a quick rundown of what each technical should generally be doing. Technicals mounted with heavy machine guns should be dedicated to transport and fire support roles. Use the terrain to crest a hill or peek out from a building, fire at suspected enemy positions, then pull back into cover for a reload. Make sure to never crest the same position twice and change positions often. A heavy machine gun has substantial penetration values against even heavy armor. BTRs, Strikers, and Labs can all be damaged and even destroyed by heavy machine guns. While you shouldn't pick a fight with a Lab with a pickup truck, you might still catch them off guard and disable their turret or wheels. Then someone else can finish them off. It's a risky move, but worth it if you get the kill. Some technicals are equipped with the SPG-9 recoilless rifle, equipped with both fragmentation and anti-tank warheads. It comes equipped with a long-range scope with the numbers on the left marked appropriately up to 1200 meters. A skilled operator can crest a hill, fire a warhead, then slip back into the cover of the desert before the injured enemy vehicle can even respond. It can also be used as fire support against enemy infantry. Use it to shell enemy fortifications and areas of suspected enemy infantry. Certain technicals sport a Cornet anti-tank guided missile. Unlike the SPG-9 or HMGs, this Cornet must fire and then stay locked onto the target until it hopefully hits its intended target. The vehicle cannot be moved at all while the ATGM is firing, or the ATGM will fly off course and cannot be recovered. Make sure to use this technical at long ranges, as ATGMs only stabilize a few seconds after being fired. The UB-32 rocket pod technical can be used either as indirect artillery or direct fire support. To maximize damage, fire from a relatively short distance away, as the rockets will be more concentrated on a specific area. If you want the rockets to go over enemy cover and land on top of them, however, you will want to fire from farther away. Then the rockets will be more dispersed, but will have a higher arc and will bypass some of the enemy fortifications. Lastly, for the weapon systems, we have the Mortar Techie. Use the HE shells to bombard enemy positions, and use smoke to cover your fellow fighters' push. Make sure to reposition often to avoid counter battery or enemies coming after you. Alright, that's it. Wait, they did what? Ah shit. The Insurgents have outdone themselves with a BMP-1 Technical. Armed with heat and fragmentation warheads, this unstabilized turret can provide devastating firepower combined with the mobility of a Technical. Use it as direct fire support, and good luck against enemy vehicles. You'll have to be stationary to hit the broadside of a barn with this thing. Some Technicals are armored. They are hard to see out of, unwieldy, and barely drivable, but they protect the people inside the cabin from small arms fire, and not much else. The Insurgents' Black Humvees are also armored. Regardless of which Technical you're using, it is smart to first dismount behind cover from the Technical and with binoculars observe your firing area. Once the enemy target has been spotted, move up the vehicle and fire before descending back into cover and repositioning. Overall, the Insurgents are a faction built of duct tape and fanaticism. Playing them correctly requires creativity, taking advantage of their chaotic nature and of their unique mechanics. The Insurgents should seek to level the playing field by shooting down enemy helicopters and blowing up enemy heavy armor by any means necessary. IEDs, RPGs, SPG trucks, anything will do. The Insurgents must also stay mobile, utilizing their fleet of Technicals and bikes to ambush their opponents and fade into the desert before retaliation can be dealt out. In urban areas, Insurgents should act as fanatical shock troopers, utilizing their close quarters fighting prowess to close in and destroy the enemy. Utilize rifle grenades, RPGs, IEDs, grenades, and anything else you can get your hands on liberally. Insurgent logistics should utilize their dirt cheap emplacements and fortifications well, building tire fires and razor wire to limit enemy avenues of approach, and constructing emplacements like the SPG-9 and machine guns to destroy vehicles and infantry alike. Insurgents should make liberal use of their buddy rallies. Squad leaders should coordinate with one another to turn a 9-man attack into a 50-man attack. Insurgents on Technicals and bikes should infiltrate behind enemy lines, plant IEDs and mines, and prepare RPG ambushes against both enemy logistics and armor alike. Force the enemy to recognize that there is no place truly safe from the Insurgent faction. Another reminder to use the link in the description to sign up for War Thunder today. New and returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months on PC and consoles can claim the massive bonus pack with multiple premium vehicles and an exclusive vehicle decorator. Thank you again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video.